Sanchin strikes. This is going to be, again, a basic technique out of Sanchin. I'm going to break it down for you all the way through so you have each of the steps along the way. Things to watch out for, things to avoid, but also things to focus on while you're doing this technique. When you're doing Sanchin, everything should be focused. Your mind should be focused on everything that your body is doing, but also an empty-mindedness where you're aware of everything around you. So Sanchin is really a walking meditation. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that. When I get into actually teaching you the full kata of Sanchin, I'll talk about what does Sanchin mean, how is it done, and what can it do for us, not only in the dojo, on the street, but also in life in general. And so we'll talk about that when we break down Sanchin kata for you in a couple of lessons. But this one, you should already have been working on your Sanchin arm placement, okay? So you know that fingertips, alignment, elbow, fist, all that. You should have already been working on that. And just working on holding that stance for 15 to 20 seconds at a time. Some people start with maybe 10 seconds, just holding it for 10 seconds, and then they go to 15, 20, until they're holding that stance, just standing there in Sanchin for a solid 1 minute. Good practice. Striking. Striking is going to work from that stance. So everything is building. So if you don't have a good arm placement in the beginning, you're not going to have a good strike when you get to doing your strikes, which is this lesson here. So again, you're going to be here in your Sanchin stance. First thing you remember is make sure those thumbs are tucked in tight, fingers are together. You have good arm placement. Your elbows are not outside, they're inside. You have good arm placement. Your striking hand is always going to be on your back foot. Now you don't see that in this video, but I'm striking off my back foot. So I'm in a left stance. If you're mirroring me now, you'd be in a right stance. So my left foot is forward, my right foot is back. So that means I'm going to be striking with my right hand. The strike is done by simply coming over to the middle of the hand. Notice that when I bring my arms over, when I bring my strike over, it comes to the middle of my hand. I'm basically splitting my hand right here with this movement. And so I'm coming over the middle of my hand and I'm sliding my arm straight back my body into a striking position. A couple of things to remember on your striking position. When you pull it back, you want to make sure that your arm is parallel to the floor. Not here and not here, or not here. Straight arm all the way back. The elbow rides along the side of the body, not out here, okay? Should be in line with the body. All of this should be in line. Shoulder is pulled down. When you pull this back, it has a tendency to make your shoulder ride up like this. Pull down with your shoulder. Pull in with that strike. That's going to tighten your chest, your shoulder, your back muscle, your arm, your forearm. Everything is going to tighten. When you do this movement right here, that's going to tighten this whole part. And it's like a rubber band. If you think about a rubber band, pulling a rubber band back and then letting it go, it's that kinetic energy that's going to drive your strike forward. That's what's going to give you the power, or some of the power from your strike. So bring it over to the middle of the hand, straight back. Pull that elbow back across the body into a tight position. And then from here, you're going to strike straight out, just like you would with a punch. Your striking zone is right here, just the top of the pec muscle. That's your striking zone. That's where you want to strike to. That's what you're aiming for when you do your strike. So from here, over, straight back. Remember, keep that parallel to the floor. Keep that elbow in. Keep that shoulder pulled down. Everything should tighten up. Fingers are together. Thumb is in. And strike straight out right to that pec muscle, top of the pec muscle. The other thing, just like with our punches, if you watched your lesson on punches, you'll remember, do not lock your arm. Keep that arm slightly bent. When you strike out, you should have a little bit of movement in your elbow so that you don't hyperextend that elbow. Remember, injury is the number one reason people stop their training. Injury is the number one reason people stop their training. You don't want to be injured. Go slow. Practice it a few times. You don't have to go as hard as you can your first 100 times you do a Sanchin strike. Practice the mechanics. Over, back, strike. Over, back, strike. Do it 10 times on each side. Then switch your feet. Remember, you're striking off of what foot? the back foot. So make sure that you're striking off your back foot each time. So if I'm striking with my right hand, or if you're doing a mirror with me, that would be your left hand, then you are going to come over, back, and strike. Then I'm going to switch my feet so that my left foot is back, my right foot is forward, which means I'm going to be striking with my left hand instead of my right. Strike off the back foot. That's something you're going to need to remember as you go through all your kata, all your techniques. Strike off the back foot. That's Sanchin striking. In the next lesson, we'll be going over Sanchin blocks. So until then, take care, be safe, keep practicing, and we'll see you at the top.